2 weeks later, who wants to talk about season 4? Who? Me? Should I? Maybe I should do that. Anyways, let's get into it. So I'm gonna start with Warzone. Actually, how I'm gonna start this is I'm going to say that it took me 2 weeks to do this. And there's a number of reasons for that. Firstly, I was having internet issues when season 4 dropped, so that was like a pain in the neck. But secondly, I wasn't as excited for this season. And I'm realizing that me not being excited didn't mean that the season didn't come out, or that the information that I have to share isn't important. So that was kind of a wake-up call for me. Because I guess the stance that I took was like, create content that I want to consume. And season 4 did not have me excited. It didn't have me as stoked as like season 3 was, and even season 2 was had a lot of content. And we're transitioning right now at this point in the year to where the focus is Black Ops 6, right? So the new multiplayer, they're also prepping up for, all the changes that will come to Warzone in the fall. And because of that, I feel like the content of this season was not nearly, the way that I do this is I take all the patch notes from all 3 modes, Warzone, multi, zombies. I read through them, I react to them, and I take notes. And for instance, with season 3, I had roughly, 4.5 pages of notes that I was, I used to like organize thoughts. And with this season, I've got a page and a half sitting in front of me. That's just how much leaner it is. So, which is fair and understandable. And it's fine. And this episode will obviously be much shorter. But it was one of those things where it was really eye-opening for me because I came at it from the approach of like, oh, it's short, patch notes are short, like it's easy, there's really no reason for the sauce. But the thing is, the reason why I made this, reason why I started doing this was because people don't read the patch notes. And even if they do read them, it's hard to make sense of it. And I do try to keep my opinions of them to a minimum. I try to just explain it so that you understand what it is that you're going to be seeing when you do drop in without getting that Mac view and having a bad taste in your mouth. Like I want everybody to enjoy this game at their own pace, at their own rate, and to make their own opinions about certain things. But yeah, so it was one of those really interesting, like, not awakening, not an epiphany, but it was like, Mac, this is why you're doing this, right? Is because people don't watch, they don't have anybody else to watch to do this. I mean, maybe you do, but they don't have the time to read the patch notes or the desire to read the patch notes. And the whole point of this was for me to read them, take notes, and give you an abridged version so that it's easy to follow along with. Anyways, all of this is to say that I scolded myself for not doing what I set out to do, which was to create a place where even if it's a small season, even if it's short, you can still come here and I have a video for you. And I can explain to you what exactly you're going to see and try to make things a little bit easier. So I bopped myself. Envision Chat decided to bot me while I was live on Twitch yesterday, and continue to give me crap for it. So I believe the trending thing was that their lives are so dry without the sauce. And then there was a spaghetti reference in there as well. So it's fine. We're here now. Yes, it's 2 weeks late. I think the information is still relevant. Also, at the end of this, you're going to get my reactions to the Black Ops 6 reveal that we experienced during the Xbox showcase this past weekend. So that's kind of cool. That's not why I waited. I could sit here and grandstand and say it was all part of the plan. It wasn't. I wasn't excited for the season. But anyways, I do have patch notes for you. So let's do that. Warzone got updates. We'll start with Warzone, work through multi. Zombies just got stability fixes. There were some UI UX corrections that were made. There wasn't anything added to the story. Zombies is kind of getting the shaft right now. They will not get a big update until Season 4 Reloaded at the earliest. But I would expect the big update, especially with like story mode information, to come with Season 5. So we'll cover Warzone, then we'll do multi, and then you get my Blops reactions. Okay, so Warzone. We have increased, the number of players on the map has increased from 100 players to 120 players. This is great. This is the way that it should have always been. It was 120 on Almaz, and it worked incredibly well. That lull during the mid game isn't there. You wouldn't think that adding 20 players is going to make that big of a difference. But when you're running and spinning your wheels trying to find people, it becomes very boring and people get tired of it. Now, there are some people who enjoy that. They enjoy that little bit of calm. It makes the regain a little bit easier when you come back from Gulag. You're not landing on a full team that's prepped with their loadie guns. But 120 players is better. It truly is better. So this is a great update, and I'm very excited about it. Another update to bunkers. They added escape hatches as an alternative exit. So the bunkers that are on Urzikstan only had the one entrance, which is a terrible plan in any situation. If a Call of Duty player can trap someone in a room, in a house, in a bunker, they're going to do it. We should always have an alternative exit, because if camping can happen, it will happen in this game. And I don't know why the devs pretend like they don't know that. But that's a really cool thing. They've also changed some of the loot that you will find down in those bunkers, made it a little bit better loot, which is cool. So they updated Gulag. There's new updated layouts. There's 4 different variations. It's basically just changing where walls are, so that you're not dropping into the same map every time and holding the same heady and everybody goes to the same spot. So there are 4 different layouts there. They also added in a new event called Climb Out. It allows both players access to a ladder, 2 different ladders in the middle, where each of them can climb out. It's not a race. It doesn't matter who gets out first. Both players have the opportunity to get out. So you don't have to fight each other, but you can. So that's kind of cool. It's a neat little way. If you remember from Almaz Battle Royale, the Gulag gave you the opportunity to fight the jug, and then everybody could respawn when it was duo Gulag, which was really cool. It's a neat option. It gives players an opportunity to kind of choose their own fate. So this isn't that. It's a random event. It's not available in every match, but it is a cool thing, and I really enjoy it. They brought back solo buybacks, which is cool. You'll remember that from Warzone 1. If you die on the map with at least $4,500, you can avoid the cash deployment and will be respawned into the lobby until that closes. So think of it kind of like Gulag. In this mode, there isn't a Gulag. You just need to have the $4,500 in your loot cache. And when you die, then you'll respawn. When this launched originally, at the beginning of Season 4, you would redeploy with no money, regardless of how much money you had, which caused a lot of pushback, and it caused a lot of issues that made it really hard to want to stash up or to continue to loot. Players pushed back on that pretty hard. So that has been edited. You do not now spawn back with $0, regardless of where your money was when you died. So, which is, it's a good update. Highly recommend that they continue to think about this, because I don't know in any situation where a player is like, yeah, take all my money, it's fine. It's a $4,500 redeployment. I had 12K, but yeah, spawn me back with $0. That's not going to be a problem at all. So I don't know if it was a goof in the coding and that was an error that was never meant to be there, or if that was intentional. But that's been corrected at this point. So You'll also notice when you jump in, instead of just weekly events, instead of just armory events, you now have Warzone rewards. It's a new events section on your main screen. There should be little icons on the right that kind of give you an idea of where your events are. It gives camos and other exclusive glam options. You've got calling cards, icons. I think there might be charms as well. And those events fall under 5 different categories: economics, contracts, social, modes, and then Champions Quest. So just different things. It tells you exactly what you need to do. I think one of them in economics, the bottom one is to run 20 games of plunder. So it's very easy. They're fun to do. It's just something different to encourage the grind. So, which is neat. Speaking of Champions Quest, that has also gotten an update. When the team doing a Champions Quest is fully eliminated, meaning squad wiped, a tablet will drop on that team and allow the first team that interacts with it the opportunity to steal the contract and continue the quest. This is really cool. It gives players an opportunity to not only cancel out the nuke, but it gives you the opportunity to steal. Also, should maybe encourage people not to run the elements into the gas, right? Because we're not just sabotaging. Maybe instead of doing that, we steal the contract and do it ourselves. It's an interesting element. So it's very cool. I think it's neat. I think it gives players incentive to attack a nuke very differently, rather than trying to just chad through it, because you do have the opportunity to get wiped and then have it stolen. But it also makes it a little bit more competitive. People aren't just going to ignore you and let you run around the map and do what you're doing. They're going to be trying to take that from you. So it's cool. It makes it sweatier, but I think that's kind of the point of the Champions Quest. It shouldn't be easy. I don't think that in any of those situations, when you get to that point, especially if you've done it as a natural nuke, where you've gotten 5 wins in a row, when you come into that Champions Quest, I think that the separation between getting the contract and completing the contract, I personally, I did run a contract last season and got wiped very early on. It's very challenging. I went into it less than prepared. There's a certain level of pride that comes from getting that. And if the Champions Quest is so easy that everybody ends up doing it, there's no incentive there. So I really like that this is a separation, right? Between, okay, I got the nuke, and okay, I completed the nuke. I do like it. I know that some people get really frustrated and would just like to get the different skins and to have that achievement, but I like this. Tac Sprint boots. Those can be looted on Urzikstan. It gives you an increase to your base speed and an infinite tactical sprint movement. They're really neat. When you die, you don't drop them, so they're not part of your loot. And they started out in bunkers, but I've been looting them out of regular boxes on Urzikstan now. So they're pretty common. It's really neat. It's a neat idea. I doubt that it will come to Resurgence at this point, but it's a neat thing for a big map to help with movement. So we got 2 new weapons. So the Superi 46 is the new SMG. It's very good. It is the meta SMG at this point. I love it. It's solid. And we got the Kar 98 back. It's a returning marksman rifle. I'm very certain you've run into it. Everybody in the player base is very excited about this gun. So it's a powerhouse for sure. The team had anticipated having Warzone ranked, so big map ranked, available by the end of the year. But at this point, they're not comfortable committing to a timeline. So for now, the focus is going to be on the World Series of Warzone tournament and Resurgence ranked, which has gotten an overhaul on the SR rewards. So for instance, now when you win, you get 125 SR instead of 100 SR, which is how things were previously prior to the season 2 update where they revamped all of the SR, and I got really mad about it. So, if you haven't played Resurgence Ranked, you should absolutely play Resurgence Ranked. There have been changes, there have been updates. It is supposed to be more rewarding now. Should be a return to the level of satisfaction that we were getting previously. So, which is good. Let's talk about multi. So we're getting 4 new maps this season. We've got 2 at launch, Tokyo and Paris. They're both small to mid-sized maps. They're very fun. They're very cool. They give a nice feel of... They're both set at night, which I really enjoy the change in the time of day. Having that bright sun always isn't realistic. So these are very cool. They're very modern. That's Tokyo. Very modern. Lots of neon lights, and there's an overpass and some really neat stuff. Paris is very similar to Greece. It's very neat. I enjoy it a lot. There's lots of little mantle places. If you can jump to it, you can mantle it, which is really, really neat. Very small map, but it's very fun. 2 maps we're getting in season. There's Incline, and then there's Das Gross.
Das Gross.
Das Gross is continuing the theme of revamping maps with an overgrown or dilapidated vibe, which will be a variant of Das Haus. So
Das Gross.
Pretty cool. Very small map. I'm really interested to see how they do this, because it is at the top of a skyscraper. So it'll be interesting. As you can see, Buddy's very excited about it.
Das Gross.
Yeah, so that's coming in season. That'll be a reloaded item. But right now you can play Tokyo and Paris. Let's talk about kill streaks that have been added to multi. There's Loitering Munition, which is an unmanned drone that deploys rockets to a location with the highest number of viable targets on the map. It does its own targeting, so that's kind of OP, because it's not you picking, it's the drone picking itself. So that's very neat. Intelligence Munition System and IMS is 4 smart explosives that target personnel and vehicles within range, locks onto the target, and propels toward them. This works. We actually ran into one of these. It gives you like a high shrieking sound, as well as like an EMP when it hits a target. So it was aggressive, very surprising. It's neat, but it's very disorienting. So if you can equip that, I absolutely would equip that, because it got my attention. There is a missile drone, which is a piloted drone that fires guided missiles. So that'll be one that you're locking in. And then the DNA bomb. It's a DNA altering bomb that eliminates the entirety of the enemy team without ending the match. So it's a nuke without being a nuke, which is very cool. I think that about wraps it up for multi. Touched on Warzone, touched on ranked. Let's talk about Black Ops 6. Black Ops is a franchise that is very near and dear to my heart. Not my first introduction to Call of Duty. I had played previously, but the first game that got my attention was Black Ops 2, specifically the round-based zombies play. So when I heard Black Ops 6 was the feature of this fall, I got really excited, because there's so much nostalgia. There's so many good memories there. So Xbox Showcase was incredible. If you have not seen it, if you did not watch any of it, I'll link it down below so that you can get some of that hype. Because it was very cool. Everything that they've done, there's been a massive marketing campaign when it comes to this multiplayer, which is cool because I feel like with Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 being remasters, there wasn't a ton of hype. There wasn't a ton of conversation around it. There was, it was just, here's your multiplayer. And there were a lot of players, a lot of fans that were, frustrated because they felt like this was just DLC, which is fair and valid, but this is a a standalone title. It's beautiful, and I'm very excited about it. I can guarantee you, I don't know this for sure, but I'm very sure the campaign will be longer than 3 hours. So if you played the Modern Warfare 3 campaign and you're like, wow, 2.5 to 3 hours to finish a campaign feels really bad, I can guarantee you this is going to be longer. And with the customization that they're giving you and the amount of control that you're getting, I would argue that the replayability factor here is going to go through the roof. Top 3 things that I'm excited for. I'm not going to get into everything. I think that it's really important that everybody take the information that is presented by the dev team and process it yourself. I really want you to get your reactions from how they present the information. I could sit here and I could go over the 25-minute long spiel of everything that's included. I could reiterate it word for word, but I don't think I would do it justice. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you my top 3 things that I'm the most excited for, top 3 things for you to watch for, because it's if you thought we were back with Modern Warfare 3, hold on to your seats, because Black Ops 6 is going to be awesome. First thing that I'm the most excited for is Omni Movement. Omni Movement, if you've played Helldivers, if you watched anybody play Helldivers, if you've seen a clip about Helldivers 2, the flopping, right? So the idea is that you can fall in any direction. You can roll. If you're laying on your, if you're prone, you can roll to your back, you can sit up. Also you're also going to have the opportunity to not just sprint forward. We'll be able to strafe sprint and sprint backwards. This is huge. This is movement we've never experienced before. It's very, very, very cool. I've said more than once since the showcase that this will be a content creator goldmine. The amount of clips, the amount of really cool movements that are going to come out of this, I'm so excited for. This is an opportunity to really change your gameplay, to customize your gameplay, to be just an absolute demon, and do really, really neat things. So I'm very excited to see the clips that come out of this, the player reactions that come out of this. Omni Movement is huge, and I think it's going to change the way that Call of Duty games are played moving forward. Second thing I'm most excited for is a return to round-based zombies. I said previously, Black Ops 2 is near and dear to my heart. Round-based zombies, what we got with Modern Warfare 3, the zombies mode was cheap. I'll just say it was cheap. They took what we loved about DMZ, they took what we loved about zombies, and they put those worst parts together to make the zombies mode that we have right now. I like the story. I think the idea of having a story in zombies is really cool. But I was massively underwhelmed. I was very disappointed in what we got. It's still not stable. And that's really frustrating too, because with zombies, it does run like a DMZ match. So you could be on the map for 45 minutes because of the stability issues. When you go to exfil, you can glitch through the floor of the plane and die, and then 45 minutes of your grinding is gone. And that's not conducive. I've experienced a lot of frustration with this mode. I had really, really high hopes for this mode. I love DMZ, love zombies, and the idea sounded really cool. And then it just fell flat for some reason for me. And I know there are people that really enjoy it, and that's fine. But for me personally, it just flopped. So I'm very excited for a return to round-based zombies. They have confirmed that Nuketown is coming back. I personally am hoping and praying that they will bring back Transit. Transit is my favorite zombies map. That's the one that I remember from playing round-based zombies previously. So high hopes there, but Nuketown is definitely confirmed. And the third thing I'm the most excited about is a return to the old prestige system. Day 1, we get 1,550 levels of prestige available. No more of this 150 to 250 climbs per season, and then you tap out. No life it. No life this game. Grind this game. Prestige through this game. It's a beautiful thing. I am so excited. So that's my thoughts. That's my opinions. The campaign is going to be awesome. The multiplayer Black Ops 6 is going to be available on Xbox Game Pass the day of launch, which is very cool. If you're someone that enjoys the Black Cell improvements, you have the opportunity to buy the $30 increase there. Still get access to that through Xbox. It's very neat. So this is the first time that has happened where it's been included with Xbox Game Pass. Very excited to see what that means for, sales and player base and all of that. Excited to see the reactions to it. So lots of really neat things. The campaign, if you haven't heard anything about it, is described as a spy thriller. There's a ton of customization when it comes to the play style. They're going to let you choose whether to be stealthy. There's an opportunity where you can choose to blackmail people to do the mission for you. You also have the opportunity to go in guns blazing. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of replayability, I think, in this, considering the fact that you can kind of choose your own adventure here. So that's it. That's all I've got. 2 weeks and lots of talking, but here we are. I hope you're enjoying season 4. Season 4's pretty fun. Not a ton of content. We did get the Kar 98, so happy sniping. That's where we're at, and I will absolutely be back for Reloaded. I promise to drop my video on the day of launch, because I have opinions, and also we have to revisit the new maps for multiplayer and see, get the hype up for Buddy. So, that's gross and all that. But anyways, that's it for me. I will see you guys in the next one.
Das gross. Das gross. Das gross. Das gross.